the inflorescence, a flower is a modified shoot wherein the shoot apical meristem changes to floral meristem. So see, a flower is modified shoot and this shoot apical meristem changes to floral meristem, means they give rise to flower. Next, internodes do not elongate and the axis get condensed. So see, the internodes are present between the nodes and these internodes do not elongate and the axes are condensed. The apex produces different kind of floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. So see, the apex produces, in the apex of plant there are different floral appendages and laterally at successive each nodes instead of leaves. Instead of leaves it give rise to flowers, and in apex it produces different kind of flowers. So when a shoot tip transforms into flower, it is always solitary. So this may ask in exam, what is solitary? So see, when the shoot tip they get transformed into a flower, it is called as solitary. The arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is termed as inflorescence. So what is meant by inflorescence? The arrangement of flowers on floral axis is termed as inflorescence. Depending on whether the apex get developed into flower or continues to grow, two major type of inflorescence are defined, racemose and cymose. So depending upon whether the apex get converted into flower or it continues to grow in two major types, in the form of racemose and cymose inflorescence. So see, in racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis continues to grow, the flower are borne laterally in apical succession. So see figure 5.11, in that racemose inflorescence are shown. So see how the flower getting rise in acropetal succession. So see, this type of fluorescence, the main axis continues to grow, flowers are borne laterally in acropetal succession. Acropetal succession means what? From base to apex. Flowers are borne laterally from base to apex. It is also called as acropetal succession, and this type of inflorescence is called as racemose inflorescence. The next is cymose inflorescence. In this type of inflorescence, the main axis terminates in flower, hence limited growth. The flowers are borne on basiphytal order. See figure 5.12. See now, in cymose inflorescence, the main axis terminates into the flower. So see, in diagram the main axis get terminate into the flower and it has a limited growth, and flowers are borne in basiphytal order. What is meant by basiphytal order? From apex to base. So see, the apex to base, see the main axis terminates into flower, means first flower comes, then after that it grow downwards, means from apex to base in cymose inflorescence, and from base to apex in racemose inflorescence. From base to apex it is also called as acropetal succession. From apex to base it is also called as basiphytal order. It is seen in cymose type of inflorescence, and acropetal order is seen in racemose type of inflorescence. So let's revise the inflorescence. A flower modified shoot, whereas shoot apical meristem changes to floral meristem. Internode do not elongate. Instead of leaves they convert into the flowers. When the shoot tip transform into flower, it is always solitary. The arrangement of flower on floral axis is termed as inflorescence. So the definition of inflorescence, arrangement of flower on its floral axis is termed as inflorescence. So depending upon the whether apex get develop into flower or continues to grow in two major types of inflorescence are defined, that is cymose and racemose. In racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis continues to grow and the flowers are borne laterally in acropetal succession. So the main axis continue to grow and flowers are born in the main axis in acropetal succession. From acropetal succession means what? Flowers are born on the axis in from base to apex, so it is called as acropetal succession, and this acropetal succession is seen in racemose type of inflorescence. And in cymose type of inflorescence, the main axis terminates into the flower, hence it has limited growth and flowers are born in basipetal order. So the main axis terminate into flower, it has limited growth and the flowers are born in basipetal order, means from apex to base. So first flower rise at apex, then they give rise to lateral flowers. And in racemose type of inflorescence, first the flower starts from base to apex, means what? Acropetal succession. So this is inflorescence. Flower. A flower is a reproductive unit in angiosperm. It meant for sexual reproduction. So it is a reproductive unit in angiosperms and it is meant for sexual reproduction. A typical flower has four different kinds of whorls arranged successively on swollen end stalk or pedicel called as thalamus or receptacle. So let's learn about flower. It is a reproductive unit in angiosperm meant for sexual reproduction and it has four different kinds of whorls and they are successively arranged and the swollen end of stalk or pedicel is called as thalamus or receptacle. Means what? The whorls are arranged successively on swollen end and that swollen end is called as thalamus or receptacle. Next is they are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium are the four different kinds of floral whorls. In that calyx and corolla are accessory organs whereas androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive organ. So keep in mind it has four different kinds of floral whorl: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, and calyx and corolla are accessory organ whereas androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive organ. In some flowers like lily, the calyx and corolla are not distinct and it is termed as perianth. Means what? In flower like lily, lily is the example of perianth, and what is meant by perianth? In this flower, the calyx and the corolla are not distinct, means they are fused and it is called as perianth. When a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, it is bisexual, means both the sex organs are present, that is androecium and gynoecium, it is bisexual. A flower having either only stamen or carpel, it is called as unisexual. So the flower either having androecium or gynoecium, it is the flower having both androecium and gynoecium, it is bisexual. And if the flower either having only stamens or carpels, means either having only androecium or gynoecium, it is called as unisexual. In symmetry, the flower may be actinomorphic, showing radial symmetry, or zygomorphic, showing bilateral symmetry. So let's see the symmetry of the flower. It is actinomorphic or zygomorphic. In actinomorphic, radial symmetry is shown, and in zygomorphic, bilateral symmetry is shown. When a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center is said to be actinomorphic. So when a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center, it is called as actinomorphic, and the examples of this actinomorphic symmetry is mustard, dhatura and chili are the example. So we are knowing that when we cut chili from middle and it divide into two equal halves, when we pass a plane between this chili, it divides into two equal halves. So it is an example of actinomorphic symmetry. So it has given mustard, chili and dhatura as the examples of actinomorphic symmetry. When it can be divided into two similar halves only in one particular plane, it is called as zygomorphic. So when a flower is divided into two similar halves only in single plane, it is called as zygomorphic symmetry. The examples of zygomorphic symmetry are P, 𝐵𝐵, bin and 𝐾𝐶. These are the four examples of zygomatic symmetry. So the examples of actinomorphic symmetry was mustard, dhatura and chili, and zygomorphic symmetry are P, 𝐵𝐵, bin and 𝐾𝐶 are the examples of zygomorphic symmetry. A flower is asymmetric, means irregular. It cannot be divided into two equal halves in any vertical plane passing through the center. So when the flower is asymmetric, when it cannot be divided into two equal halves while passing a particular plane passing through the center, it cannot get divided into equal halves. It is called as asymmetric symmetry and it is seen in canna. Canna shows asymmetrical symmetry. So we have studied three types of symmetry: actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetric. The examples of actinomorphic are mustard, chili and dhatura, and the examples of zygomorphic are P, 𝐵𝐵, bin, 𝐾𝐶, and the asymmetric symmetry examples are canna. A flower may be trimerous, tetramerous or pentamerous. When a floral appendage are in multiple of 3, 4, 5 respectively, the flower with bracts produce leaf found at the base of pedicel. It is called as bracte. So flower is said to be bract when the leaf is found at the base of pedicel. It is called as bracte, or without bract it is called as ebracte. So see, based on the position of calyx and corolla and androecium in respect of ovary on thalamus, the flowers are described as hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. So based on their positions of calyx, corolla and androecium, the androecium in respect of ovary on thalamus, the flowers are described as hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. So let's see figure 5.13 with the diagram. So see, hypogynous, epigynous and perigynous. So we will learn according to the figures. So let's see hypogynous flower. The gynoecium occupies highest position while other parts are situated below it. The ovary in such flowers is said to be superior. So see figure 5.3a. Here hypogynous flower, the gynoecium occupies highest position while the other parts are situated below the gynoecium, and such kind of ovary in such flowers are said to be superior. So see why it is superior, because gynoecium occupies highest position and other parts are lying below the gynoecium, and such flowers are called as superior flower. The examples are mustard, China rose and brinjal are the examples of hypogynous flower. So in hypogynous flower we have studied the gynoecium occupies highest position, other part lies below the gynoecium, and such kind of ovary is called as superior ovary, and such kind of superior ovary is seen in mustard, China rose and brinjal are the examples of hypogynous flower. If the gynoecium is situated in the center and others part of the flower are located on the rim of the thalamus almost at the same level, it is called as perigynous. So see in figure 5.13 B and C, if the gynoecium is situated in the center or part of flower are located on the rim of the thalamus almost at the same level. So see, gynoecium is situated in the center and other parts of the flower are located in the rim, and such type of thalamus most at same level, such type of thalamus almost at the same level is called as perigynous. So at the same level means located on the rim of the thalamus means what? The gynoecium is located at the rim of the thalamus, rim of the thalamus almost at the same level, it is called as perigynous. The ovary is said to be half inferior. Examples are plum, peach and rose. So see what happened in perigynous flowers. The gynoecium is situated in the center, not above and not below. It is situated in the middle center at the same level, and the flower is located on the rim of thalamus almost at the same level. It is called as perigynous, and ovary is said to be half inferior, and the examples of such perigynous flowers are plum, peach and rose. So see 5.13 B and C diagram, you will come to know about this perigynous flower. And the examples are plum, peach and rose. In epigynous flower, the margin of thalamus grows upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. The other parts of the flower rise above the ovary, hence the ovary is called as inferior. As the flowers of guava and cucumber and ray florets of sunflower are the examples. So see last figure, epigynous. In this epigynous, the margin of thalamus grow upward, it encloses ovary completely and get fused with other part of the flower, and other parts of flower arises above the ovary, and hence the ovary is said to be inferior as the flowers of guava, cucumber and ray flowers of sunflower. So the examples of epigynous flower are guava, cucumber and ray florets of sunflower. Let's revise this flower. So flower is the reproductive unit in angiosperm. Next is it is meant for a sexual reproduction. It has 4 different types of whorl: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. A typical flower has 4 different kinds of whorl arranged successively on a solen end, stalk or pedicel. It is called as thalamus or receptacle. Thalamus is the solen end of flower. Then calyx and corolla are the accessory organs, while androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive organs. So in some flowers like lily, calyx and corolla are not distinct, so it is called as perianth. When a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, it is called bisexual. A flower having either androecium or either gynoecium, it is unisexual, or either stamen or either carpel, it is unisexual. It has 3 kinds of symmetry: actinomorphic and zygomorphic. In actinomorphic there is radial symmetry, in zygomorphic there is bilateral symmetry. So let's learn about the symmetry. When the flower can be divided into 2 equal radial halves in any plane passing to the center, it is called actinomorphic. And the examples of actinomorphic symmetry are mustard, datura and chili. Next is zygomorphic. When it can be divided into 2 equal halves only in one particular plane, it is called as zygomorphic symmetry. And the examples are P. gulmohar and Bin Keshia. And next is asymmetric, means irregular. It cannot be divided into 2 similar halves by vertical plane passing to the center, seen in canna. Next is a flower may be trimerous, tetramerous or pentamerous, while the floral appendages are multiple of 3, 4, 5. Flowers with bract means reduced leaf at the base of the pedicel, it is called as bractee, or without those bracts are called as ebractee. Next is based on the position of calyx, corolla and androecium respective of ovary on the thalamus, the flowers are described as hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. So let's learn what is hypogynous. In hypogynous, gynoecium occupies the highest position and other parts situated below it. Such ovary in such flowers are said to be superior, and the examples are mustard, china rose and brinjal. In perigynous, the gynoecium occupies Gynoecium is situated in the center and other parts of the flower are located at the rim and the thalamus almost at the same level. It is called as perigynous, and ovary is said to be half inferior, and the examples are plum, peach and rose. In epigynous flower, the margin of thalamus grows upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it, and the other parts of flower arise above the ovary, and the ovary is said to be inferior, as the flowers of guava, cucumber, and dry florets of sunflower are the examples of epigynous flower. That is, guava, cucumber, and dry fruits of sunflower are the examples. So refer figure 5.13 to know more about this epigynous, hypogynous, and perigynous flowers. Parts of flower. Each flower normally has 4 whorls, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So we have learned earlier it has 4 different types of floral whorls: androecium, gynoecium, calyx and corolla. So let's learn about calyx. So calyx is the outermost whorl of the flower and the members are called as sepals. So we are knowing that of each flower has sepals and it is called as outermost whorl of flower, and these members are called as sepals. Generally, sepals are green, leaf-like and protect the flower in bud stage. So when we see bud of any flower, so there is a green leaf-like structure which protect the flower in bud stage. It is called as calyx, also called as sepals, and the calyx may be gamocephalous, means sometimes sepals are united, means fused, or polycephalous. When the sepals are free, it is called as polycephalous. When the sepals are united, it is called as gamocephalous. So let's revise about calyx. Calyx is the outermost whorl of the flowers and the members are called as sepals. So calyx is also called as sepals. Next is, sepals are green leaf-like structure which protect the flower in bud stage. The calyx may be gamocephalous, means what? Sepals are fused, or polycephalous, means sepals are free. Next is corolla. Corolla is composed of petals. So we are knowing about petals of flowers and it is called as corolla. Petals are usually brightly colored to attract insects for pollination. So why the color of petals are bright? To attract the insect for pollination, the color of petals are bright. Like calyx, corolla may also be gamopetalous, means petals united, or petal fused, or polypetalous, means petals free. The shape and color of corolla vary greatly in plants. Yes, we are seeing different kinds of flowers and different colors of flower. So according to the color of flower, the color of corolla or petals greatly varies. Corolla may be tubular, bell-shaped, funnel-shaped or whale-shaped. According to the variety of flower, corolla may be tubular flower, bell-shaped flower, funnel-shaped flower and whale-shaped flower. In those flowers, the petals may be different. So let's see about corolla once. That corolla is composed of petals, means corolla is also called as petals, and petals are usually brightly colored to attract the insect for pollination. And like calyx, corolla may be fused, like called as gamopetalous, or petals united. Next is polypetalous, free petals. The shape and color of corolla may vary. Next is, corolla may be tubular, bell-shaped, funnel-shaped and whale-shaped. Next is aestivation. So what is meant by aestivation? Mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral bud with respect to their member of same whorl is known as aestivation. So the arrangement of sepals and petals in floral bud is known as aestivation. The main types of aestivations are volvate, twisted, imbricate and waxillary. So four types of aestivation we are going to learn. In that, first one is valvate, next is twisted, third is imbricate, and last is vexillary. So refer figure 5.15. Types of aestivation are shown: valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. So let's see valvate aestivation. In valvate aestivation, when the sepals or petals in the whorl just touch one another at the margin without overlapping is called as valvate aestivation. So see, when the sepals or petals in the whorl just touch one another at a margin without overlapping. So see figure 5.15a, valvate aestivation. So see the diagram here. The petals or sepals are arranged in just a circular manner. Petals and whorls in the whorl does not touch one another at the margin without overlapping. So see, the petals and sepals are arranged in such a manner that they do not overlap. Just one after another it has arranged without overlapping, and such kind of aestivation is called as valvate aestivation. And the examples of this valvate aestivation is calotropes. So in calotropes, valvate aestivation is seen. Next is twisted aestivation. So the name suggests if the margin of the appendages overlap, so it is called as twisted, that one, that next one, and so on. So see figure 5.15b, twisted aestivation, in that sepals or petals are arranged in such a manner they overlap one after another, and such type of aestivation is called as twisted aestivation, is seen in China rose, ladyfinger, and cotton are the examples of twisted aestivation. China rose, ladyfinger, and cotton. Next is if the margins of sepals or petals overlap one another but not in any particular direction. So see figure 5.15 C, imbricate, and in that when the petals or sepals are overlap one another but not in particular manner, means not a particular direction, means one inside one outside, these are one inside one outside, and in different manner they are arranged, and such kind of arrangement is called as imbricate. And the examples of this imbricate aestivation is 𝐾𝐤 and 𝐵𝐵 is the example. 𝐾𝐤 and 𝐵𝐵 is the examples of imbricate aestivation. And in imbricate aestivation, sepals and petals overlap one another but not in any particular direction. So it is called as imbricate aestivation, and the examples are 𝐾𝐤 and 𝐵𝐵. The next is in pea and bean flowers there are 5 petals. So see, in pea and bean flowers there are 5 petals. The largest is called as standard, overlaps the two lateral petals, that is wings, and which in turn overlap the two smallest anterior petal, that is keel. So see diagram, last diagram, see in that outerwards largest it is called as standard, it overlap by two lateral petals, that is called as wings, and insidely there is two smallest anterior petal, that is called as keel. So this type of aestivation is called as vexillary or papillonaceous aestivation. It is seen in pea and bean flowers. So this kind of aestivation is seen in pea and bean flower. So let's revise aestivation. There are 4 types of aestivation: valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. In valvate aestivation, sepals and petals in the whorl just touch one another at a margin without overlapping, is seen in calotropes. Next is if the one margin of the appendage overlap that the next one, and so on, it is seen in China rose, ladyfinger, and cotton, and this type of aestivation is called as twisted aestivation. Next is the margin of sepals or petals overlap one another but not in particular direction, is is seen in imbricate aestivation, and examples are cassia and gulmohar. And in some flowers like pea and bean flowers, there are 5 petals. The largest standard overlaps the 2 lateral petals, that is called as wings, which in turn overlap the 2 smallest anterior petals, that is called as scale. And this type of aestivation is called as vexillary or papillonaceous. And the examples are pea and bean flower. So the examples of valvate aestivation, it is calotropis, and the examples of twisted aestivation, that is China rose, lady's finger, and cotton. And the examples of imbricate aestivation is cassia and gulmohar. And the examples of vexillary or papillonaceous aestivation is pea and bean flowers. Refer figure 5.14. In these, parts of flower are shown very clearly. We forgot last time. So see, in the flower you can see that pedicel, it is the stalk of the flower. Next is calyx. Calyx is shown in green color. It supports the flower in bud stage. It may be closed or free. In closed it is called as gamocephalous, or free it is called as polycephalous. Next is corolla. Corolla is a petal. So see, petal is named as corolla. Next is gynoecium. See the filament, that is gynoecium, and above the gynoecium there is anther, it is called as androecium. Next diagram is about calyx. See the calyx, it protects the flower in bud stage and it is a green color, and calyx is also called as sepals. And next is corolla. Corolla is also called as petals. Next is androecium. See, stalk filament is shown on androecium, and last is gynoecium. So next, androecium. Androecium is composed of stamens. Each stamen, which represent male reproductive organ, consists of stalk or a filament and an anther. So androecium is composed of stamen, and each stamen represent male reproductive organ, and stamen consists of stalk, filament and anther. Each anther is usually bilobed, and each lobe has 2 chambers, the pollen sacs. So see, androecium is composed of stamen, and each stamen represent a male reproductive organ. The stamen consists of stalk, filament and anther. Next is, each anther is usually bilobed. It is bilobed, means made up of 2 lobes, and each lobe has 2 chambers. So what anther is bilobed means, anther is made up of 2 lobes, and in that 2 lobes there are 2 chambers, and they are of pollen sacs. They are called as pollen sacs. The pollen grains are produced in pollen sacs. So the pollen sacs is for what? Is for the production of pollen grains. A sterile stamen is called staminode. So what? When a stamen did not have power to reproduce, it is also called as sterile, and sterile stamen is called as staminode. Stamens of flower may be united with other member such as petals or among themselves. So the stamens may be united with other members of flower or among themselves. When the stamens are attached to the petals are called as epipetalous. So when the stamens are attached to the petals, it is called as epipetalous. And examples of epipetalous are brinjal or epiphyllus. When the stamens are attached to perianth, and these flowers are seen in lily. So when the stamens are attached to the perianth, it is called as epiphyllus, and the examples of epiphyllus flowers are lily. So once again, when the stamens are attached to the petals, it is called as epipetalous. When the stamens are attached to the perianth, it is called as epiphyllus. Epipetalous is seen in brinjal plants, and Epiphyllus is seen in lily plant. So the examples of Epiphyllus is lily, and the examples of Epipetalus is brinjal. The stamens in flower may either remain free, it is called as polyandrous, or may be united in varying degrees. So when the stamens are free, it is called as polyandrous or may be united. The stamens may be united into one bunch or one bundle, it is monodelphous. So see, when the stamens are united into one bunch or one bundle, it is monodelphous, as in China rose, or two bundles is diadelphous, as in pea, or into more than two bundles it is polydelphous, as in citrus. There may be variation in length of filaments within a flower, as salvia and mustard. So see what is monodelphous when the stamens are united. Let's see the stamen clearly in figure 5.14. So see, the androecium is shown in that here. See the androecium diagram. In that you can see the filament, stalk and anther. So when this androecium means when these stamens are fused, it is called as polyandrous. So see here, so when the stamens may be united into one bunch or one bundle, it is monodelphous. So what is meant by monodelphous? When the stamens are united in one bunch or one bundle, it is called as monodelphous, and the examples of monodelphous are China rose, or when these stamens are united in two bundles, it is called as diadelphous, and the examples of diadelphous are pea. Pea is the example of diadelphous. Or when the stamens are united more than two bundles, it is called as polydelphous, as in citrus. So the examples of monodelphous is China rose, examples of diadelphous is pea, and the example of polydelphous is citrus. There may be variation in length of filaments within a flower. So the length of filament may varies within a flower, and the examples of these are salvia and mustard. In salvia and mustard, the length of filament varies. It may be long or it may be too condensed. So let's learn androecium previously. Let's revise androecium from starting onwards. Androecium is composed of stamen, and it is also called as male reproductive organ. So stamen is also called as male reproductive organ, and stamen consists of stalk, filament and anther. So it has a three parts: stalk, filament and anther. Sometimes they may ask you, anther is what is anther? So you must know anther is a part of male reproductive organ, and it is also called as androecium. Androecium is also called as male reproductive organ. In that, stamen has three parts: stalk, filament and anther. You have to learn by heart this. And each anther is composed of bilobed each anther is bilobed, and each lobe has two chambers. In that two chambers, pollen these two chambers are called as pollen sacs. In this pollen sac there is a production of pollen grain, and when the pollen sacs are not able to are not able for the formation of pollen grains, it is called as sterile stamen and is also called as staminode. A sterile stamen is also called as staminode. Stamens of flower may be united with other members such as petals or among themselves. When the stamens are attached to the petals, it is epipetalous, seen in brinjal, and when the stamens are attached to the perianth, it is epiphyllous, seen in lily, and the stamens in flower either remain free, it is polyandrous, or may be united in varying degrees. The stamen may be united in one bundle or one bunch, it is called as monodelphous, as seen in China rose, two bundles diadelphous seen in pea, and more than two bundles polydelphous seen in citrus. There may be variation in length of filaments within the flower as seen in salvia and mustard. So this is all about androecium.